You know, and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in. You know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in.
Woo-wee! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. You are now listening to the All Dressed Up Podcast episode. Get this, Heffalonius Monk. Episode 129 is in the building again. 129. I got all the sound effects for the end of 2025, bro. Tell them who you are.
Hey
Tell them who
man,
you be.
hey man, that still have streams, man. Who would have thought? What episode is this?
129.
129, man. Much love to everybody that's been with us since day one. Man, we started this a couple years ago. You know, we didn't know how long we'd take it, but we still rocking, man. We appreciate you. We love you guys for sticking with us. But it's your boy Hef Streams, always alongside Kate. It's the wrap up of 2025. Can you believe?
We are here. And as you get older, time moves faster. And I can't believe that we are here where we are. 2025 has been a crazy year. Absolutely for the both of us. A lot has happened. So we're going to recap this in a minute. But before we go deep, where do you want to roll with? Because I know you don't. I didn't wear my jersey today because I knew you kind of emotional. I know you don't want to really talk about
Nah,
it.
man. You know, I wanted to give you your opportunity to take it wherever you wanted to take it, as far as the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, if you want to talk about your team, if you want to say however you feel, take your time, man. I'm not going to be a sore loser, even though we all know what's going on with the win. But go ahead, man.
No, I'm not going to sit on it. I'm not going to sit on it. We beat a half hurt Washington Commander team who didn't even have your field general on the field. He shut down for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Smart decision by Dan Campbell. You don't have a lot to play for. We're eliminated from the playoffs, and as that game progressed on Saturday, shout out to the Eagles. Um, it was a little worrisome at first, but I had to remember we're playing the Washington Commanders no matter who is there or not. It is a NFC East rivalry, and anybody could win it at any time. So I was like, well, what are we going to look like? Because everybody's thinking about you just beat the Raiders. Is it a fluke or not? Now we did win that game, but the real test is going to be. Shout out to those who are just rolling in. The real test is going to be when we play the Bills next week, because the Bills, as I've been saying all year, are a suspect team. Okay. They almost got beat by the Buffalo Bills today, 23-20. They barely squeaked that game out. The only reason they didn't lose that game is because Cleveland's offensive line is trash. So let's be real honest where we are on that aspect. But I don't know how to feel about today. Today was really some I don't I need your recap of today's football before I really go in, because I want to say some things that may not be politically correct. But go ahead. What did you say about today's games, man?
Well, first off, let me start off by saying I owe Jaguars an apology because I've been shitting on the Jaguars all season, every year. I don't ever take the Jaguars serious, but they beat the Broncos today, man. So I gotta say, the Jaguars are for real. I don't think the
Mm-hmm.
Broncos today's game. It was a good game. The Eagles
Mm-hmm.
beating the Commanders, man. It was what it was. Like, I'm tired of watching the Commanders play with Marcus Mariota, man. Watching Mariota is miserable. Like, he does just enough to make you think you have a professional quarterback, and you never win. But that that's just that, man. But good win for the Eagles. Um, you know, Buffalo on Cleveland. I don't know if they almost lost to Cleveland. I think they just played down. Josh Allen had a very pedestrian. It looked like he was just kind of
Mm-hmm.
out on the field, just trying to stay healthy. He didn't look like he was out playing for much. but they
Mm.
still get the win because that's what good teams do. And then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, the playoff game.
Yep.
Neither team acted like they wanted to win the game, but the Panthers pull it out in the last 30 seconds. So good for
Who
Carolina.
knew? Who knew?
Yeah,
The Carolina Panthers. I mean, they ended strong last year, but they've been an atrocity for the past 2 or 3, 4 years. So who knew
absolutely.
they were coming this strong and actually be contenders? They are number 4 seed right now, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely overachieving. And boys, they get cooked by the Chargers. I actually thought the Cowboys were going to play better. Defense is still terrible. They got a lot to think about, man. One of those years that I think good offense and a terrible defense. The Chiefs, they got cooked by the Titans. We expected the Chiefs to look bad with their third string quarterback. And the
Yeah,
Saints took care of the Jets like they were supposed to.
that. I don't even know why they televised that game. Look, I want to go back to the Cowboys real quick. I
Oh,
want, I
let's
want to
talk.
say this really quick. I want to say this because the Cowboys are not as good as people think they were or think they are. For the simple fact that
Mm.
I've been saying this again for the entire season, Dak Prescott lives and dies on the 50-50 ball. And the good thing is he's had CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens to catch it. And then we saw that game in the Chargers game. The 50-50 ball didn't, it worked for a little bit, but then it faded out because the time wasn't there for him to just chuck it. And he made some plays off of,
And not just that, but
but
Justin Herbert was torching their defense, man. Is awful. And unfortunately, no matter how many points Dak Prescott scores, that defense can't stop anybody. And that's exactly what happened again when Herbert was out there looking like John Elway.
yep. Yep, indeed. You got the best offensive passing game in the league and the worst defensive passing passing defense in the league. You're never going to win. If you give it up too many points, you're never going to win, no matter how many points you score. That's been the Cincinnati Bengals MO for the past few years. It looks like the Dallas Cowboys have taken the MO. But it was I would say honestly it's been a lot of pedestrian football today. Nothing that I really wanted to see. But shout out to the Chicago Bears. I did want them to lose. I did want them to lose, but shout out to the Chicago Bears taking a shot and winning it on the last play in overtime. That was one hell of a game. And the last thing you said was Kansas City going out in burning flames with their third string quarterback today, losing to Tennessee of all teams,
Mm.
26-9. That is enough for Travis Kelsey to say, "Yeah, I'm good for this year. I'm good for it. I'm about to marry
Yeah,
into
it's over.
money. I'm about to marry into some money. I don't need to play anymore. I've proven everything. I'll probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer. What else do I have? I got plenty of rings. I'm good. I've played enough, and my brother's out, so I should be out too. So, the
But look,
NFL.
it'd be a disservice. It'd be a
Go ahead.
disservice, okay, Dizzle, if we didn't talk about Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Stewart says no team is safe from the refs in the playoffs. No team is safe, man.
Ooh.
I've been hollering rigged all year. Don't call me an old NFL hater, but I've been just seeing some head scratching plays like that offensive pass. Not saying Brown, like why would you run out there and straight commit an offensive pass game? That makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. But the Steelers
Mike
get the
Stewart. Let
win.
me put that. Let me put that up again. It's been a terrible year for referees. Let me say that.
Mm.
Excuse me. It's been a terrible year for referees. They have made some terrible calls, and it's led to more and more conspiracy theories and circulations of how they might be booked in. They might be baked into sports books, overs and unders, parlays, all that craziness. Because once the floodgates open, now everything is under question. And so I think that's one of the reasons why they brought in the virtual measurements, right? Now what's gonna help the NFL gain back some of their integrity, because we've seen over the past couple of weeks some really bad calls, really really bad calls. Um, tit for tat stuff. We know that when they have a call that they shouldn't have called, then they reward the team that they had to call against with another bad call to kind of even the playing field. But that never works out because every call that goes in the wrong direction kills momentum and kills the opportunity for that team to really start something. So, how does the NFL gain the luster back, the integrity back, when we seeing so many crazy now that everything's slowed down and we got more eyes on it? How do they gain back the integrity of the game when we see these crazy calls happen now?
It's obvious, man. The shit is rigged. It's no integrity. You know, with all these sports betting apps in the palm of everybody's hands, like these calls are questionable, man, and it happens right before our eyes. And what are we gonna do about it? Nothing at all. You're gonna continue to complain about it, and it's not gonna change. Like it's blatant, man. And the end of climactic games that decide wins and losses, and it's not going to stop. So, like Mike said, no team is safe. I agree. You know, you got to come out there and you got to play, man. If the game comes down to a call, good luck.
And a couple games have come down to some calls,
Yeah,
some big calls in the most crucial moments. So it's just getting out of hand. I don't know. Like you said it's rigged. You believe the conspiracy. I know that.
Act-
I know that when parlays hit, those $2, those $5 parlays times 50,000 people, that's $100,000 off the rip. That's an easy way to make some income by changing the game or putting a little cash in somebody's pocket. I'm not gonna say that it's rigged. I'm gonna say that some referees are making some bad calls and some bad judgments on the field and in the action. Thank God for instant replay, but they got to get quicker on it too. Because I think the what was the other one, the Rams game, where the Rams and the Seahawks,
yeah.
Vegas controlling everything. Yeah, they got a hand in it.
What's
They got
good,
a
Big
hand in it.
P? What's good, Big P?
Now that they've got skin in the game, and now they are supporting and putting advertising dollars into the NFL. Yeah, Vegas got a definitely hand in it. That 2 point conversion to help since Seattle go into overtime and actually win against the Rams. That was a tough call, man. A lot of time it went by before that went there. So I think it was another backward pass called today in another game. So it's got to be mindful, man. I don't know. What do you think these? I know the Ravens are playing the Patriots right now. Shout out to P. I know he's a big Ravens fan, and I know his team is probably looking really bad, looking really bad right now. You can't help that, bro. But I don't. They don't have any plans for now in the near future. Where are they in the playoff race? That's what we really need to know.
They're 7-7. They're on the bubble because today.
Okay.
So the Steelers have the lead at 9. But obviously, if the
Hmm.
Steelers lose and the Ravens win next week, they'll be back. So it's going to play out over the next 3 weeks between those two teams. But right now, technically, the Ravens would be on the outside looking in.
All right. So let me pull this up really quick so we can make this plain because it looks like the NFC is set. Okay. The the NFC has one, two, three,
No,
5, and 6.
no, the NFC,
But I mean,
the
some of
NFC
this
isn't
stuff is
set.
shit.
You gotta watch.
There are two available spots. Go
You
ahead.
gotta watch Green Bay,
Got one.
Green Bay in the NFC, and also the Carolina Panthers. You know, if
Okay.
if the Panthers
Panthers
and
on that.
the Buccaneers lose some games,
Hmm.
Detroit could
And
sneak
so
in.
the AFC is a big toss up because there are plenty of seats left. There are 6 available playoff spots. All these teams that we're looking at right now have clinched the playoff spot. Clinched the playoff spot for the most part. It's just a matter of seeding at this point, how they win or lose on these last 2 games. And so um, it's between either the Panthers get in and who comes out. The Panthers are 4. It's either the Panthers or the Packers.
Pretty much if you think about it, whoever wins the NFC South between the Panthers and Tampa Bay out because I think when you look
Well,
at
Tampa Bay is not even in it. Tampa Bay is out.
well
On that bubble
they be
spot.
on the bubble.
Yep.
They can still win their division. So
Hmm.
Green Bay at 9-5-1 is the team that Detroit, they need Green Bay to lose their last two games.
Who's that?
Detroit.
Detroit?
Detroit's got to win
Tampa?
out because they lost to Pittsburgh. Detroit's got to win out,
Hmm.
and they need Green Bay to lose out.
No, that ain't happening.
So no, it's not. It's a
Oh
long
man.
shot.
Yeah, so it's the Panthers and the Packers. Look like they locked in. The Bucks are they're probably mathematically out. No, they got 58% chance, but everybody in the AFC is like still in it, and it's all about seeding at this point. Really, the Jags are in, the Pats are in, Steelers 73% chance, Chargers definitely in, Bills are definitely in, Texans are definitely in. So it's all about the 6 and 7 seed. And so we'll probably by next week it should be pretty much locked in unless something goes crazy. But Tampa has to win the division to get in. Both teams have too many losses as a
Yeah.
wild card.
He's right.
Absolutely correct. But
So the
Mike,
Packers'
I would
last two
go
games
ahead.
are against Baltimore and Minnesota. So Green Bay could lose to the Ravens. I don't see them losing to Minnesota. So I think
No,
Detroit's chances pretty much came to an end when they lost to the.
yeah, I believe it as well. So who do you in the NFC? We're looking at these five teams. Who are we most afraid of? Who's got the strongest chance and the weakest chance to make it to the bowl?
Man,
Strongest chance and the weakest chance.
it's looking pretty competitive over there in the NFC. I gotta say, every team has their strong suit. They got their weaknesses too. There's no real complete team on this list. Every team could possibly do it. I don't know if I believe in Chicago in a playoff game. When it comes down to playoff experience,
Hmm.
I think Chicago might be the teams that might not fare as well, but we'll see, man.
Do we believe in the Niners? I'm sorry, Mike. I gotta ask a question. Do we
I
believe in the
I
Niners?
I just became a believer again in the 49ers. I didn't believe in the
Oh,
49ers in the beginning of the season, but I look at what they do now, and even when they play bad teams, they get out, they beat up on the teams that they're supposed to, and they're winning football games,
right.
man. Brock Purdy doesn't have to go out there and throw around like Dak Prescott for the 49ers to win. The difference, I think the 49ers are a team you don't want to play.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to first round. If I
Hmm.
had to play any team out of this list in the first, Chicago,
Okay.
even though they're
I
flaming
agree.
hot, I'd have to pick Chicago, or I had to pick one or two teams if I had to match up with.
Well, Seattle's gonna have to buy, so
No, I'm saying
we're
if
gonna
I
see
had to
them in the first.
choose, if I
Yeah,
had to choose,
if you had to choose, I agree. And Mike says Eagles still champ, so I say they still have the best chance until someone takes them out. Till someone takes them out, or we take ourselves out, Mike. That's just the truth of the matter. I don't. We'll see how we play against the Bills. And on the on the AFC, where everybody's still a possibility. Who do you see as the strongest chance? Now we know the reigning champs are done. They're cooked. They're down to their 17th starting quarterback. But who do you feel's got a good lead into heading to Super Bowl and representing the AFC?
man, the AFC to me is much more muddier. It's harder for me to choose. I do like the Patriots, even though we've got a very inexperienced quarterback in Drake May.
Hmm.
Again, play playoff football, but
Right?
you're gonna think I'm crazy, man.
Yikes.
I'm starting to like, and the reason why is because their defense isn't as good as Houston,
Yeah.
but their offense is,
Yeah.
and
Green Bay. Go ahead.
no, and I just don't believe in Pittsburgh. I
No.
don't believe in the and the
Hmm.
Bills. The Bills are always scary if the real Bills show up. You know what I mean?
The Bills got to show up. And who are the real Bills? We don't know. Mike does say Green Bay looks the weakest to me. I wholeheartedly agree. So I hope we do see him in the first round. I hope Philly sees him in the first round. just depending on where they land. But on the AFC side, it's a toss up, man. It's between honestly, it's between the Pats and I'm not a believer in the Broncos. I'm sorry, I'm still not a believer in the Broncos, and hopefully they prove me wrong. But again, I think it's the Pats, and since the Texans look kind of sus today, bro. The Texans kind of let me down today, so I don't know. Pats and I might have to go Pats and Jags with you as far as
Yeah,
who's looking the strongest between the Pats and the Jags. But look, the NFL is getting really spicy. It's that time of the year. It's the season in which we really start getting down to the nitty gritty, and those who the championship pedigree starts to come out, and we see who the winners are and who the losers are. So it's getting exciting. This is a time where we really, really lock in and have some fun. AFC is Bills because of Josh Allen. He's the best QB left in the AFC. I can agree that he's one of the best QBs in the AFC. I can disagree with you because the Bills defense only plays 2 quarters. They only play 2 quarters. They play the first half, they play the second half only. They'll play the fourth quarter sometimes. But but when you have a defense that has been scored on like a 40 points in multiple games this season, when it comes to the playoffs and you can't stop anybody, you are not going far. Definitely not going far. And that's why I don't believe in the Bills because every time they go to the playoffs and they go deep, the defense lets them down. Every time, without fail, no exceptions. When they need it the most, they have failed in the playoffs. Now they're doing big in the season, but it's still you shouldn't be fighting the way you're fighting to just win, to just
yeah,
win and
I
pull out
agree.
games.
I agree with you, man.
Especially since no today, like the Bills. I mean the Browns, 23-20. The Browns had so many opportunities to win that game that they shouldn't have. If you're that pedigree, if you're a Super Bowl caliber pedigree team, you should not be fighting with the Browns to win. Plain and simple. So
Well, it's still it's below not having a true identity. Believe it or not, as good as they are with MVP, like you said, who are the Buffalo Bills? They're a good team when they're click on all cylinders. But I don't know, man. I might have to take the Patriots and the Jaguars out the AFC. I might got to rock with you.
yeah, that's the clearest until they prove us otherwise. I think those are the two leaders. Shout out. There's no shade to the Broncos. Absolutely no shade to the Broncos at all. But I think the Broncos are still a very young team. And when you get into those playoff situations, it's a completely different ball game, and you got to put up or shut up. And I don't know if they're ready to put up yet because they've been in dogfights with mediocre teams. They were in a dogfight with the Eagles when the Eagles were mediocre, and they
Yeah.
barely came out of that game. So you got to remember when January hits, it's a different type of football. So we'll see what happens, and it'll all shake out the way it's supposed to. But look, enough of that football. We are football connoisseurs. We love it. We can talk about the game all day in the paint. We want to end this on a good note and a high note with the 2025 year. I don't know where you are or where you have been, but if you're here and you can listen and you're hearing this, you're in a better place because you're at the end of 2025. Christmas is right around the corner. I hope you did all your shopping. Hope you didn't do a whole lot.
Hmm.
Save your money because this year crazy too. But we want to wrap it up and look. We're going to talk about which way you want to start. You want to start with the up or you want to start with the down?
Man, first off, man, because this is a live podcast, as always, put the number in the chat, K Dizzle, for those who do want to chime in
Put it up.
and
That's what.
share their thoughts about 2025 because it was a hell of a year, man. Another one is going down in the books. We're gonna talk about the highs, the lows, who won in 2025, who didn't quite come out on top and took some major L's in 2025. Whatever you want to 1-857-1757. Biggest winners of 2025. Man, I'm gonna say, man, the All Dressed Up podcast, first and foremost, man. We are we are gonna take the first W of 2025 because of the year. Shout out to my man K Dizzle DC.
Hey, no, shout out to Health Streams. Did you guys know that most podcasts do not get past 10 episodes?
Wow.
Most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes. So everybody that has a podcast that's doing something that's even getting to this amount of content, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Hef for being not only consistent but a true advocate of what this platform can do for us, but what we do for you guys and what you guys do for us when we do it, because we love it and we wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. So I agree with that. Biggest winners of 2025. Um, who else can we say was a big winner of 2025? I know
Man,
some losers off the rip.
I gotta
But go
say,
ahead.
in the sports world, because I break it down by, the different platforms or avenues in pop culture like sports,
Okay.
politics, entertainment. Thank you,
Thank
P.
you.
Thank you, Big P. In the sports world, Terrence Crawford was definitely one of the biggest winners in 2025. The man, the man came out,
Hey,
did the unthinkable, and beat Canelo. Actually said he's going to retire,
yep.
unified all the belts, and you got to say, like, when you put a athlete on stage in the ring
Hmm.
against one of the best in the world, and they pretty much win and dominated, probably one of the biggest winners of 2025.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. You came with that, and that's absolute fact. That man said, I've done all that I wanted and needed to do. I'm going to go out on top. And that he did. There's not a fight that you went in and you watched and you saw him like really get folded or buckle. You didn't see him. If he got hit with a lot of punches in his career, but he stayed the course and he always, always came out with the dub. So shout out to my man Terrence Bud Crawford on an unbelievable career. I know we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, P. On some losers. I think it might be we gotta find some more winners before we get there. I know Jake Paul's a loser, but who else won out there? You know who else I think won? And he's gonna be a contributor to one of the biggest losers as well. Shout out to 50 Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Okay.
I
For
agree.
for a man to do a documentary on one of his arch nemesis and actually outperform one of Netflix's strongest series that they have on their platform, drop in the same week and outperform it. I mean, you can't. There's no way. The Reckoning did better than Stranger Things season 5, where Stranger Things, it cost like 100 million to do. It's crazy. So shout out to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Yes, yes, another winner, Mike Stewart, were the Philadelphia Eagles winning the 2024 Super Bowl. And actually,
I'm starting
I
to
think
think.
they are the
I'm
Kansas
st-
City Chiefs.
I'm starting to think that Mike is becoming a closet Eagles fan. He has been giving the Eagles so much love. They deserve it, but God, but we love the Enough Said podcast, man. Shout out to the Enough Said podcast, one of the best NFL
Sports
football
podcast out
podcasts.
there. I don't know why you can't Sal either. We might have blocked you, but Sal can't post in the chat. He might have to go to YouTube or something. But look, but look, here's the real deal. The Eagles are, Mike's got a root for something. I know his 49ers been letting them down. They're in the playoffs, Mike,
Oh,
so give them that love too.
oh,
But the Eagles definitely win the Super Bowl. I totally forgot. I put that in 2024, but 2025 is the year that they did it. They are the demise to the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, they've been looking pretty bad this year. They have not. They have had a really bad hangover from that Super Bowl. Let's find one more winner from 2025.
well,
One more winner. You got one.
it doesn't have to necessarily be. It can be a movement
Mhm.
or a thing or an idea as well. And I gotta say, AI is a big winner for 2025, man. A lot of AI
AI.
is everywhere you look and turn, between creators and between entertainment and just and all, man. The world's changing, and it's not gonna starting now and going forward.
Yes. Well, this we can look at 2025 and say the turn towards AI becoming mainstream commercial in everybody's household. truthfully took the turn in 2025 because the investment by all these major marketing software corporations was so huge and so banking on this will be the next revolution that it was just it's anywhere and everywhere. Chat GPT, Gemini is a household name. These are some of the things that a lot of people are just leaning on. Some people are having relationships with AI, just talking to it on a regular basis. It is it is without a doubt one of the biggest winners of 2025. So shout out to that. If you ain't got no money in stocks in some AI, AI stocks, please put it in right now or just put it in technology because it's going to take off. Everybody thought in the 80s, 70s, and 60s and 70s we'd be flying cars by now. Congratulations, iRobot is right around the corner, but AI is really the winner of 2025. So let's dig in a little bit on to some of these losers. Let me switch this up. Shout out to Sal. Yep, enough said is in the house. Biggest losers of 2025. P said it early. He said Jake Paul with the broken jaw. He can thank Tank Davis for that. Go ahead. What do you
Hey,
guys
look.
say about Jake Paul?
So if you got to talk about Jake Paul being a big loser, he definitely took a major ass whooping on Friday night. But you can't say he's a loser, P, overall because he got paid, man.
Yeah,
He brought box, and overall, even who's in the fight, he got paid. Anthony Joshua got a lot of viewers off the fight, and he's actually a big promoter for women's boxing. A lot of
huge.
the love they were giving him leading up right for what he's doing for women's boxing, but made to where I didn't want to see one of those punches really land for real. Like Anthony Joshua was trying.
I wanted to see it. We all know you wanted to see it. That's why you watched it. Everybody wanted to see it. You know why everybody wanted to see it? And I'll get you to Mike. He did make 92 million. Anthony Joshua took 200 or something crazy. I'm gonna tell you why you wanted to see him get hit and why you watched it. First of all, shout out to Jake Paul for bringing boxing to an entire different generation that made them excited about boxing again and bringing it back to the forefront. And shout out to him for putting women's boxing on the forefront too, with a lot of those great fights that he promoted and brought over. So he literally just took Floyd off the map and said, you know what, I'm gonna just make my own avenue. But you wanted to see it because of the utter disappointment you felt when your icon, your living legend, Iron Mike Tyson got in the ring and took a bag instead of really putting belt to ass. Right? You were upset because Iron Mike Tyson did not go in that ring and beat the brakes off of Jake Paul. Was it last year? It was
Yeah,
last year. Okay. And we knew that with Anthony Joshua going into the ring, who was 30 to 40 pounds heavier, 5 feet inches taller, and a 20-year vet in the game, you knew that Jake Paul was going to get hurt. It was just a
yeah,
matter of time. And what made it really bad was he ran the whole night. He
and
ran
that's
the
the
whole
thing.
night
And
and
that's the
tried to
thing.
wrestle him.
When I saw his energy fading out, I was like, "Oh shit, here he goes. He about to catch it." And did he not? Because his jaw paid the price for that payday, man. My man got
Yeah.
his jaw wired up, but good for him though. He's definitely gonna have generational wealth
Oh, he
off that one.
no, he been got that. Him and his brother own a Prime Energy drink, so they're just doing this because of the love and the fun that they're having, and also just branching out in new business opportunities and ventures, and just making a name for themselves, doing it their own way. They're saying,
Um,
"The hell with the old money. They don't need it. We're gonna do it the way we need to." Go ahead.
excuse me, K Dizzle, but Baltimore Raven alert. I had a prediction that by the middle of the third quarter,
Hmm.
the streets will be very quiet. The streets will get very quiet, and Lamar Jackson to the line. We'll keep an
Uh,
eye. We'll keep an eye on Lamar Jackson's status for
uh,
the rest of the game.
Mike Stewart brings in the politics and says, "Hate to say it, but I consider Trump a winner for 25. He got everything and did whatever he wanted. He dominated the conversation all year." I'm going to say this, okay? To hell with that. That's all I'm gonna say with that. To hell with that. That's to hell with that. You know what he did with the everybody.
Emotional damage.
He put. We're not gonna go there. Well, look. Shout out to Mike for putting that in there. I'm just not going to give that man no flowers or no time or no energy. I will say another loser, big loser of 2025, and I kind of alluded to it again, was our good friend Sean Puffy, Puff Daddy. Did he? Did he do it? Yes, he did. Combs. Um, Shockwaves, 50's at it again, trolling, and makes a documentary series, one of the biggest documentary series of the year on one of the biggest platforms worldwide. And it just paints this picture of this man being the entire reason for the East Coast West Coast beef, why Tupac got shot, why Biggie got shot, and why everybody who ever went with him didn't get paid or got sexually assaulted or or now had become lovers of baby oil. I mean, it was just out of control, man. And the man didn't he get locked up this year too? It was this year, it was last year. How long he been in?
Absolutely.
It was this year. So then he got locked up, hit with the lawsuit, locked up, and got a documentary put out on him. All the footage he was going to use when he was going to get out, when he got out, is now already used against him. So he can't even do the documentary he wanted, before, it's just, yeah, that man took a hard L. You know, he went the same avenue as R. Kelly, and it's just not going to be the same for that guy no more. Go ahead, what you get? Because we just talked about this on the last episode. What you got to speak on that, big dog?
One of the biggest L's of 2025 when your name turns into a verb. Now, you don't want to get diddied. You know what I'm saying? It's no diddy. It's all over the place, man. It's all in the internet, the radio, your TV, whatever app you watch. It was Puffy everywhere, defending his image, explaining everything he had to do, and also him with those heinous video clips of him abusing Cassie. That circulating was the icing on the cake. Biggest L, no question, man. No question. We talked about Diddy a few times this year. Unfortunately, we couldn't avoid him on the last episode of.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, definitely took one of the biggest L's.
Now, who else can we think of outside? We got Jake Paul that's recent. We got Diddy that's recent. Who else took a super L this year?
Man, I gotta say, man, the Commanders fan base took in the NFL because we had so much excitement coming into this season. And when enough said goes on, say T that Mike puts out every year, where he asks for our. I'm probably gonna look real bad because I said win MVP. The Commanders were gonna go to the Super Bowl, but it's exactly what happens in the NFL. That's why it's like Philadelphia is having. You got to tip your hat, man, because Big L this year rooting for the Commanders, man. It was a tough one, man.
You feel like you got catfished?
No question.
You feel like you got catfished?
No question.
And I said the same thing. I said, look, man, you got to be careful with unrefined success, for the simple fact that now that everybody has tape, they didn't know when it came to. They had no idea when he came to the league. Now he's in the league. Everybody's got tape. And now, a new year, every year is different. Same thing with the Eagles. Oh my God.
Major
The
L.
San Francisco 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, even though that they're 9-4, 10-4, they have literally taken one of the strongest L's I have seen out of a team. Brandon Ayuk is a super L. You paid that man and he never came back to the team. You owe Debo some money. He never come back to the team. Jerry Jones took a huge L because that team is in shambles. Everybody, Dak Prescott is the biggest believer in going to the Super Bowl, but he has never won a playoff game. Um, Kansas City is
Mhm.
a big L. You got Travis Kelsey is a big L. I mean, you talking a lot of football teams, a lot of football players individually took a lot of L. Miami Dolphins
No,
took a huge L, lost everybody. Lost. I mean, two is probably gone. I don't know where he's going to go because they didn't pay that man all that money.
The Cleveland Browns, front
Cleveland
office,
now,
their front office took
my
one of the major L's for their performance in the draft, and then still taking Shador and still not having a plan for him to only be starting him today at the end of your season. Typical Browns, and yeah, we'll just
Cincinnati Bengals.
consider the last.
Cincinnati Bengals. You can add damn near almost the AFC and a lot of NFC teams in there. Cincinnati Bengals, who with now their quarterback is considering either getting traded. He might want to get traded, or he might want to cash out because he's like, it's not fun anymore. This team sucks. I don't like playing here because they don't know how to take care of people, and I don't know what to do with my life. So a lot of like half of the NFL, 74% of the NFL has taken big L's this year. Hollywood took an L. There weren't a lot of great movies this year. I agree with you that wholeheartedly. Outside of Sinners, name me another movie you ran out to see.
Man, I tell you, man, it was some bad movies out there. I will tell you that every episode. You guys know I'm hard to please when it comes to a good movie, but even Netflix, man, I think it's just been awful. But that's a whole nother conversation.
I think
That's a whole nother conversation.
yeah. I mean, the consumer took an L this year. Okay, horrible movies. The consumer took an L this year with all of your subscription fees going up. Okay, and all of your content now being hid behind paywalls. We took an L with inflation. We took an L with the marketplace. We took an L everywhere. So we are all hoping that a 2026, which is literally a couple weeks away, looks a lot better than what 2025 did as a grand scale. As a
Yeah,
grand scale. So, but you know what does keep us from jumping off the cliff? Sports, talk shows, TV, things that keep us talking to each other about things other than what the reality of things are outside of. So, look, man, a lot of L's taken this year. A lot of taking L's. Like Amazon Prime, Peacock. Y'all going ham on every subscription based service that's out there. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a weird year, and I'm glad that I've made it. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people are just barely making it. But look, we still got more time. We still got more opportunity to make the best of what we got. So look, biggest losers, biggest winners has been heavy. I think the biggest losers right now are going to be the Baltimore Ravens. Um, Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson being in and out all year. One of the few lasting things here is biggest lessons learned in 2025. Now, in the chat, make sure, again, I'm going to put that number up, but if you put it in the chat, what is one of the biggest lessons that you have learned in 2025? It's good to talk about it, say it out loud, think it, and write it down so that it reminds us of what we came through and what we learned from it. So Lamar is out. He's definitely out. So what's one of the biggest lessons you learned in 2025?
biggest lesson that I've learned and still work on learning each and every day is just to focus on my emotional intelligence. And the words that you used were never break character, and I thought that was profound, man, because it really you know what I mean. Not even just in a career or your or the workplace or when you're around family or your kids, but you just have yourself, some time to think and not always to the same, actions or behaviors when it comes to handling certain situations that you always do. So and I just want to, take that on into next year and beyond because, it's very important, make the best decision, especially when you're a man, when you consider yourself to be a leader and a father and all those things. So, like I said, that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned is to focus on.
Mm, that's strong. Never break character. Never break character. That's big because that's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to see when we talk about emotional intelligence. People have all the tools to push the buttons in which they know that will activate you in the way that they want. And so you have to be mindful of
Right,
those ideas and those things and never allow them to see you put on those other hats. Like some people know me as professional, other people know me as uptown, some people know me as the friend, some people know me, there's different hats, there's different levels to it. And one of the things I struggle with is when I'm on social media on different platforms, who I want to put out there, right? Which version is which version should I am I going to allow people to see? And and you look at each one of them and say, okay, well, who's your true self? What is your true self, and what do you really want to say to people? And the other thing is, what kind of legacy you want to leave? Because everything that we put out there, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that is going to be leaving your legacy moving forward because the stuff will be into perpetuity. People could come back, your grandkids, your great great grandkids, because it's stored on a server somewhere where your information and your videos are shown, and they can go back and say, "Oh, that's my great great grandfather." We didn't have that access, right? We don't have that access. We don't have the ability to do that, but now we do because of these platforms and different things that we have. So never bringing character and figuring out who you are and who you want to be and what you want to show to the world. That's huge. That's huge. My biggest lesson learned in 2025, I will honestly have to say, is um, never doubt. Never doubt. Never doubt. Always have the faith. Because what I've been teaching, because of what I have been taught in recent things, is your greatest your greatest successes or the biggest things that happen in your life are the things that happen right after some of your biggest mistakes, your biggest tragedies, or your largest circumstances, right? There's always something impending right before you get to where you're trying to go. There's always something huge that causes an immediate disruption right before, the biggest blessing that could be coming your way. Okay. There's always a storm before before the sunshine, right? There's always a storm before the sunshine. There's always clouds before a sunny day. I know I don't want to get spiritual or anything like that. I just want you guys to understand that what I've learned is to never doubt. If you are on a path, if you have a direction and you have a goal in mind, regardless of what comes in front of you, do not doubt that the path that you're taking is the right path. You got to believe in it, be convicted in it, and see it to the end. See it to the end, because all I've ever seen on the past 18 months has been an absolute whirlwind. Is that as long as I don't have doubt and I keep pushing forward and I keep making sure that I'm staying on the path, regardless of what happens, um, it works out. It works out. Things happen the way that they're supposed to. So that's what I've learned. My biggest lesson in 2025: never doubt yourself and what you're capable of doing and what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Now, if you know you're not doing the wrong thing here, stop. Stop. That's a completely different conversation. But if you have a plan, you have a purpose, don't doubt it. Just do it. Just definitely do it. So um that was big, huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. And I've done it's been a lot of stuff that's been happening this year. So shout out to the underdogs, as I always say. And shout out to anybody that message resonates with, because the only way I've ever learned is by hearing from someone else's experiences and knowing that, hey, when I had those darker moments, there was somebody telling me, I was hearing a story from somebody else, how they had their darker moments, how they pulled out, regardless of what it looked like. So that's what I got on lessons, man. That's what I got on lessons. What you got, have? You got
Not,
another one?
not man. Great stuff from K Dizzle, man. I appreciate everything you just said and the way you broke it down, man. It was really good. To go into the chat briefly, Enough Said Podcast says, or actually, Mike says, I think I learned. Told people last year. Last year, I said, don't let the craziness of this year in politics get to you. And sure enough, it bothered me all
Hmm.
year. That's the biggest thing. You have all the access to all this information. And yes, it's great to stay in the know and have all this information, but how does it bother your everyday way of thinking is the question, and that's why on this platform we talk about life, and the news and where you get the news can really be something that molds how you move about your day. And then Enough Said Podcast says motivation, how to keep challenging myself to keep going. Just sometimes don't want to do nothing. Point, man. Like, what happens when you lose that motivation? Like to record that next podcast. Like, we've done 129. If we stopped, this week, what would happen to the podcast? So keep going is what I say. That's one of my biggest. I learned, K Dizzle, is to never stop your passion. Keep going and keep that energy. Always harnessed to get you moving in the right direction, so you can see yourself. Just do what you want to do in life, man. So I think it's
Well,
always good to reflect. But go ahead, K. Does.
yeah. What I'll say to that is, just sometimes I don't want to do nothing, and you got to ask yourself why you're doing it. You got to make sure that your why is stronger than your will to not do it. Truthfully, and if it's not, then that might not be something you should be doing. You got to ask yourself your why. Your why's got to be bigger than your will. Your why's got to be bigger than
Yeah.
your will because it'll trump it. And I'll tell a personal story. I used to be I did a lot of network marketing. I did a lot of business ventures. I'm doing it. I have some success, some early success. But then after a while, I quit. Even though I was being successful in it, even though I was, making good money from it, I would quit after a while because it was not my passion. It was not something that I really wanted to do. I did it because I could make a lot of money. What I found was I could make a lot of money. I brought along a lot of people involved. I became a leader in that thing. And then I dropped off. And now I left all these other, the people I brought in became rudderless. And it was like, oh, well, we got to find another leader. That was unfair to them. But more importantly, I began to understand how unfair it was to me because I was devoting time on the things that really weren't my passion, that was taking away times from other things that I really cared about. And so you got to be better at knowing what your why is, because that why is going to give you that internal fire to continue upon that path on those things. It's going to continue to give you that idea to never doubt that what you're doing is the right thing and is for you. I had a YouTube channel, started killing it. I stopped because it wasn't my initial passion, but I had to really understand why I was doing it. I had the wrong reasons on why I started it, the wrong intentions on it. Going to get that kick back because my why has changed on the reason behind doing it. So those things are going to move. The same thing with Hef. We started this, but then Hef started it, Hef Streams Media, and it started the series that has been taking off by storm. And he's doing it, and his why is continuous with the reason why he's staying successful because he loves to do it. He understands where it's going to take him, and if he continues to invest and never doubt, it's going to get to where you want it to be. And so, again, I always challenge to make sure you know make sure that your why is stronger than the will, because it's so easy to come and give your time to any and other things that won't get you, that will net you instant gratification. They will take your mind off of things. They would numb you down. They would dead you to it, like a good series on Netflix or video games or just sipping alcohol and chilling by the fire. Those things are all good and for stress and relaxing, but what is it doing to getting you closer to your goal? I'm not saying don't take a day off, but I'm saying be mindful of what you make time for. Be mindful of what you give your time to, and make sure that you invest your time into your why more than you invest in time into the other things that net you nothing. So, um, I'll get off my soapbox on that. But I'm big because this year, 2025, has been a roller coaster. And I think 2026, for those that are under our voice that can hear this and will get this, will understand that going into this new year, if you invest more time into your why and you learn the lessons that you did for this whole year, like being careful of what you ingest. Like Mike said, listening to politics, I had to turn it off myself because you become enraged and you become, you become distant, and it affects how you operate, and it affects everything else. So you got to be careful of what you ingest, and be careful of what you listen to, be careful of what you watch, and just be a better advocate of making sure that you put the right things inside of you so that you can get better results on everything you want out of your life. Time is of the essence. It's short. It is not something that you can create. You only make time and invest time. You can't create it. You can't buy it. You can't sell it. You can only invest it. So that's why we made 129 episodes and invested our time, effort, and energy in giving everything we have to you guys, for the listeners, and also for us, to pour our spirits out on what we love to do. And again, shout outs to Hef, because there's been times where I'll be like, nah, we good. No, Kermit, we got to do it. No, we got to do it. There's been times Hef's been like, yeah, no. I'm like, no, we got to do it, because our why is bigger than our will. And we're going to keep doing this thing, and make sure that it grows into the next sphere where we see the vision, and everybody, all the 5, 7, 11, we know who comes in and out. We can see it. The 13, 24, the amount of people that are seeing it, we know that without you, we wouldn't be here, because everything that we do is about making sure you guys are part of it. Look, Mike says, I think I also learned this year that anytime I think I got it bad, I really don't. That's a bar, bro. So I'm very fortunate. I don't take that for granted. So many people have so much going on. That is oh, that's fact, not fiction. Man, ADU got the coolest hats. Now, no worries. In January, every member of the ES podcast will have an ADU hat or ADU hat with them. I'll make sure of that for sure. But look, I'm on my soapbox half. Go ahead, man. Go
Let's
ahead.
let's do this, man. So 129 episodes. We do the All Dressed Up podcast live, and people ask me all the time, KD. They say, what's the podcast about? About life, man. Our podcast is about what everybody can talk about, and that's why we have this show. The first and third of every month, and we're gonna keep rocking because we create a space for people to about these conversations. And you know for about 2025 and what we're taking the next year, like we're doing it because like K Dizzle said, it's our passion. We love this stuff, and we want to see everybody win. From Enough Said Mike to K Dizzle DC's friends and family to Arizona to Big P to everybody else that watches us and has followed us from day one, man. Like we want to see all you guys win. And 2026 is our year, man. Let's get it. Let's leave all the behind. Let's focus, in 2026. K Dizzle DC. Let's do everything. Let's create a plan and let's get it, man. Everybody needs to come together and win. It was a phenomenal 2025. I wish everybody a very happy holiday, and I wish everybody a happy new year, man. Go ahead, take us home, K Dizzle.
Look, follow Half Streams Media on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. Go see the Climbback series. It is phenomenal, and it just keeps getting better. I'm everywhere here. Life can't take it for granted. Blessed and thankful, says Enough Said Podcast. Facebook, ADU Podcast, YouTube, ADU Podcast. Make sure you like the channel, subscribe, and share it. If you got anything you want to share, or you want some show topics, or want to come on, promote your business and talk about your life, or talk about some experiences that could help somebody else and get them in a better position from the things that you've learned, submit your info to alldresseduppodcast@gmail.com. We are everywhere. every other week, and we will continue to have fun and make these great memories and have these good conversations, man. We appreciate everybody, each and every one who comes in and out and chats and sends stuff. Enough said podcast. You are the best too, man. We love you guys. We're gonna keep this thing going. I hope Christmas is the best Christmas you've ever had for you and your family this year. And we're excited to see what 2026 in the future brings to you. We're thankful that you made it, and we're glad to see you winning. And we want to hear about your wins in 2026 too. We love y'all. We out, man. See y'all next year.
And and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in, and I know, they know.